village in Yunnan called Xizhou. 15 other students and I spent 28 days talking to the community, researching and learning about a culture very different from our lives in Shanghai. I spent my time learning about my inquiry project, a topic of which we independently study and research. For my inquiry project, I initially decided to study the many aspects of tourism, but as time passed, I shifted my project more towards studying solely the impact of tourism due to the apparent increasing amount of tourists in Xizhou. To examine the impact of tourism over time, one must consider the impacts through the effects of the new authentic process, the rents and the locations of the vendors, and the lives of the people in the community. There is variation in the vendors and what vendors sell compared to the past due to the effects of the new authentic process. The new authentic process is when a community takes their traditional and authentic culture and puts it through a modification. By changing the little things in the culture, it becomes more interesting and seemingly exotic to visitors. Because of the new authentic culture in Xizhou, the types of vendors and what vendors sell have changed. In the authentic culture of Xizhou, vendors used to target their products to provide for the people in the community. In the new authentic culture of Xizhou, vendors in Sifangjie now sell mostly to tourists. Vendors also include people from all over China. Vendors in Sifangjie are mostly people who own jewelry shops, snack shops, antique shops, and tie-dye shops that don't sell traditional styled clothes. They also sell material items and souvenirs. Vendors in the future will probably still sell to tourists, but there will most likely be more vendors that are from elsewhere. Furthermore, there will likely be also more tourists around Dali and overall Yunnan. The idea of new authentic is quite controversial. Some people who reflect on the past say that nothing much has changed, while others believe that the culture changed entirely. Either way, this new authentic culture has definitely brought impacts to the vendors of Xizhou. The rent and location have also changed due to tourism. Over time, some vendors in Xizhou have relocated due to areas of which tourism is more popular. These places include Xizhou and Sifangjie. When tourists visit a place more often, the amount of money that the vendor can make increases. Therefore, the amount of money that landlords can make can increase. 10 years ago, the rent for an average store in Sifangjie priced at around 150,000 yuan annually. 5 years ago, the rent for a shop in Sifangjie was around 200,000 yuan annually. Currently, rent is around 400,000 yuan annually. In the future, it is possible and likely that the rent will increase for places in Sifangjie. The further away the house or shop is from Sifangjie, the cheaper the rent seems to be. Long ago, Sifangjie resembled the community market, full of vendors that sell household items and grocery to other people in the community. After visitors and tourists drew attention to the culture of Xizhou, the rents rose in places that are closer to Sifangjie. Now, vendors are located around the government-issued gate in Sifangjie. In the future, I think that the location of vendors will remain the same, though there may be more vendors than there are now, who may have come from elsewhere. Rent and location have risen and relocated due to tourism in Xizhou. People in the community also faced a change in their lifestyle because of tourism. People in the community that grew up in Xizhou said that certain places have been grown to become tourist attractions. Some examples are Xizhou, Sifangjie, and the Linen Center. These places used to be houses, marketplaces, or a common gathering place for people in the community. Now, most of these places are often visited by tourists who are interested in the culture and the lifestyle of people in the community. People also used to have to work far away from their homes to do physical labor or to go to work because of the lack of jobs that are in offices. They worked in fields and other places. People can now live their lives and support their families through business that rely on tourism. Because of tourism, the government has beautified many places within Xizhou, such as cleaning up the pollution around Erhai or adding gates and trees to Sifangjian. Furthermore, there are many opinions on what Xizhou is like right now. Often, many people say that although they get to maintain their work and support their family, they still prefer the old Xizhou. It is not about how much renovation or beautification the government puts on the community, but rather the voices and the opinions and the culture of the people within that community. By looking at the new authentic culture, the location of vendors, and the community itself, it becomes clear to see the impact of tourism on a village like Xizhou. I couldn't have asked for a better opportunity to learn in a very different method. There were days when this project was rough, and there's others that really pushed me forward. But throughout that journey, I always had the Microcampus community and the Xizhou community to depend on.